In this special edition of Founders and Visionaries, you'll meet community leaders who've championed a movement of giving next.
Founders and Visionaries is presented by Hawaii Business Magazine.
Aloha is an action, not a reaction. It is perseverance, hope, compassion. It is courage and love. Aloha is a way of life. We ask you, our community, to give with aloha.
You're watching Founders and Visionaries.
About mid-February, my wife and I were in Japan. Basically, we were there about 2 weeks before the earthquake. I remember waking up and finding out all the details about the earthquake. I think about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I shot this email out to Dwayne. All the email said was, I think we need to do something. We knew we had to do something. It was all about a community coming together here in Hawaii and giving back to another community. And I think that's what basically the whole concept behind what Aloha is about.
A lot of us talk about, in the marketplace, talk about social responsibility and doing for a cause. I like to say we don't do it for business purposes. We do it because we do it from here. It's not a marketing ploy. We do it because we feel it's an important part of doing business. We did the event because it was something that had to be done. Most of it had to do with providing comfort and aid to our brothers and sisters in Japan. But really, the other half of it was a way for as many people in Hawaii to feel comforted within themselves that they can make a direct contribution to relieve the pain and the suffering of the victims of the tsunami.
You know what? This is all about community. It's with guys like Dwayne Kurisu, Colonel Saki, and guys that think about not only Hawaii community, but the greater community of the world. So it's all good. It's all good. It's fun.
The reason why we're here is, as musicians, you have a duty to perform. So our heart goes out to them because they're an island community just like we are. And at any given time that could happen to us, we would need the help. So we know they need the help. That's why we came tonight, because we feel compelled to the people of Japan. We love them so much.
Everybody needs the help. I needed it at one time. People were there for me.
Yes.
I'd like to return it as many folds as I can. It feels good to do something nice. You know?
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
The more meaningful part really is the transformation that people from Hawaii will experience as a result of providing energy, time, and dollars to help people in distant lands. Because at the end of the day, when people in Hawaii look at the mirror, we'll see a different Hawaii in the future. And it's Hawaii reaching out to different parts of the world to share our aloha. But at the same time, we learn a whole lot more about ourselves. I think it's one step towards Hawaii one day reaching its true potential.
We all belong to humanity. And of course, Hawaii should always be up at the forefront because we have the jewel, we have the aloha spirit. If you understand the whole concept of aloha, then you know that it's all about love. Any way that I can and any time that I can to give love, that's what it's all about.
Oh, just like how aloha has very many meanings, this event has a lot of meaning. This is just a great way to send all of our good thoughts and wishes to them.
Great. So will you sign the shirt for
Yes.
us? So this is a shirt that is going to be sent to the recipient of all the funds that are raised, which is the Tohoku Hospital in Sendai.
Okay, giving back really isn't an easy thing to do. It's a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of time away from your job, from your family, but the rewards in it are great, and it's really worth doing. With this event and the several events that have gone on in Hawaii, Hawaii just has that special feel. Though there was a common vision, it wasn't just about one company sponsoring. There were hundreds of companies, thousands of volunteers. The community effort that goes into anything that goes on here is just, it's phenomenal.
At our April 9th event with Aloha, we raised about $150,000 and an additional $50,000 following the event. To this day, actually, people still keep giving.
I made a floating lantern. To Papa, I miss you from Cal.
Great. So where's your father?
In heaven.
Well, so you can send him a message.
What was really inspiring was seeing how actually a community came together, from the organizers to all the volunteers, school children to baseball teams, and personally that was extremely inspiring to me to see how people would come up and dedicate their time, their resources to someone basically that they don't know halfway across the world. That was pretty touching to see that, and I think that's what With Aloha is all about.
When we said we were going to do this event, it was really a declaration for the people of Japan, from the people of Hawaii, that we'll find some way of finding an institution that's a core and a nerve center for the whole Tohoku region, and we found it in the Tohoku University Hospital. So we wanted an institution where we know we could see and feel the direct impact of the giving from Hawaii. And also we wanted a venue where we know that 100% of the monies collected will go towards aid.
I've known Dwayne for a long time. When he explained to me what he was doing and how it was going to be done and where the help was going to go, it just cemented my feelings. Well, the message is huge. You know, the disaster is done. The recovery is what we have to deal with now. You know, the real message is we have to take care of our brothers and sisters over there.
One of the miracles that happened is that I met Kaori Kano. And when we asked her to come and participate in this event, she was happy to do it. But at the end of the day, she was overjoyed that she did it because she captured within herself that spirit of Aloha in participating in that event. And she brought with her a very moving letter from her uncle, who was a former mayor of Kisanuma, and one that really addressed the pain that the people of Kisanuma suffered, but also a vision of hope for the people of Japan in kind of remaking themselves and using this tragedy as a way of building a better Japan.
I was surprised. I was deeply impressed. Many Hawaii people supported Japan. I'm very glad to your support. Hawaii people, thank you very much.
You know, I think the Aloha spirit is very special, and I think we can give in other ways. My hopes and dreams is hopefully one day other people can say, what can I do to make Hawaii or the world a better place? And that would be my ultimate dream.
When you have passionate and talented people get together, miraculous things happen, and it really did. We're not only elated, but it was actually, a lot of us cried because the amount of commitment that came from the people of Hawaii and the results of the time and energy of our people in creating such an amazing event where everybody came in happy and everybody went out happy.
We see a world where we who have kokua those who have less. Imagine food that's healthy, food that does no harm to the environment. Imagine food that's affordable and accessible, food that harnesses local entrepreneurship. Imagine food that brings together families and communities in ways that will nourish the Aina, Feed the Hunger Foundation, microfinancing toward innovative and sustainable solutions.
You're watching Founders and Visionaries.
Feed the Hunger is really a manifestation of the physical hunger that people have, but also the hunger of the mind and of the spirit, and of how people coming together through our foundation can make a difference in the lives of others.
Internationally, we started working in Inner Mongolia. We just funded a program in Liberia and Africa, and the third place that we'll be looking at is in Latin America.
We do this by using microloans as a way for community building to take place. Loans to people who typically would be considered unbankable, those who do not have the resources, who do not have the collateral to be given the opportunity to grow a business, to enable a dream to be fulfilled.
There are people and there are models of microfinance that really exist to make profit, and that is to make a profit off of poor people. We have found that this population has a very high repayment rate. And because they'll pay back the loan, because they have to, this is their livelihood, they don't really have a choice whether they succeed or not. People have seen this as a way to make huge profits for themselves. Patty and I did not come at this work with that background at all. We came at this to alleviate hunger and to help poor people. So for us, a loan is a loan is a loan. What's more important is what the loan does.
These loans are all about building community. Women come together once a week, and it's not just to repay the little bits of interest on their loan. It's to come together so that in a small group, we may each provide a bag of rice so that this week you will be able to take home the 7 bags and know that you will have enough to feed your family. And next week, it will be someone else's turn. It's women coming together to join in song, to join in dance, to rebuild the very communities sometimes that wars have ripped apart for the last 20 years. Our Liberian microfinance partner, when she started to make small loans to people, what she saw were beggars on the street. Now everyone around her said, "Ma'am, that is a bad idea." When Denise and I went to visit, these beggars were no longer begging. What they did was they bought large bags of charcoal and they broke them up into smaller bags because from their laps, they're able to sell these small bags for mere pennies. And the amount of pride that they had was incredible. We believe in investing in human capital, in human resources, and not to necessarily have that be purely a dollar sign. So many of the wonderful things that we've learned internationally, the strength of communities, the ability of individuals to be resilient, are really many of the strengths that we have here at home in Hawaii. And we saw this as an opportunity to have lessons shared and to bring our finance work home.
So in Hawaii, we thought we'd look at some of the issues, economic issues that people are struggling with. And what we came up with was the fact that 90% of our food is imported, while 80% of our food is exported. Add to that the fact that what is produced locally is often inaccessible and unaffordable to low-income communities. And add to that the fact that there are very few resources that encourage and promote low-income individuals to become entrepreneurs in this food chain. And lastly, there really lacks an infrastructure in Hawaii for a sustainable food system. The goal of our Food for Thought program is to provide low-income individuals who have businesses anywhere in the food system, from compost producers to aquaponic farmers, to agricultural farmers, all the way to farmers markets, caterers, and lunch wagons.
Lisa, you being a second-generation farmer, raiser of livestock, are really exactly what the islands need to be successful and to be much more food secure. So you're our inspiration as well.
Well, I don't know about that, but we're trying our hardest,
Sure.
you know.
And we'd love to partner with these farmers that you're talking about, because it's not just the small independent farmer that's starting up, but it's also some of the farmers or food producers or distributors who already exist.
Totally.
Who just need a little bit more to get their businesses up and running a little bit bigger.
It's just a very exciting time, I think, right now. And then giving people a livelihood as well.
Yes.
Yeah, a livelihood, a real livelihood, not working at some 9-to-5 office, you know, with no childcare.
Right. Because there's so many people here in Hawaii that are passionate, who want to get involved with the food system, who want to have healthier food for themselves, their families, and their communities, and yet they lack that little bit of capital to really have the opportunity to grow their businesses. It's allowing them to live their dream.
And I really like the model that you guys are creating with the microfunding, because it's almost like setting up a way for it to be self-perpetuating. Was that always your idea behind the foundation?
Absolutely. But we saw this as an opportunity where it was a more sustainable model, where when people pay back, we get a little bit for overhead, and then that makes the loan fund grow and we can make more loans to more people.
And we know that the new economy is based on small entrepreneurship.
It totally is.
And so our investment on this small level will really bloom not just for Hawaii, but globally.
And another thing that we are looking forward to partnering with you on is how we can make it such that the farmers markets, all the farmers markets, accept food stamps. Because it is healthy food.
It's totally healthy food, and everybody needs that access. Everybody needs to be eating food that's grown locally. Yeah, and it's also food that's grown is from people's culture as well.
Yes, that's right.
You know? Right. And it's also bringing people home to being able to cook.
ดีแล้วครับขอบคุณหลายที่ว่าโครงการที่ว่าให้เงินมาสนับสนุนที่ว่าการเกษตรแล้วก็มาเลี้ยงปลาอินเทอร์เน็ตเลี้ยงปลานี่ผมขอบุญท่านคุณหลายครับที่เป็นทุนให้ครับ
He said thank you to the Feed the Hunger to give him this opportunity, the loan that he could not find anywhere else, because he just freshly turned from trafficking victim and become T visa that has no credit. You know, everything is due by cash, so nobody will loan him. So he said thank you again to give him this opportunity to start his business, and he will try to do good.
Thank you.
To us, it's not about the sea. It's about who's in it. Every day, Hawaii flies with us.
You're watching Founders and Visionaries.
There's no food stamps in Afghanistan. There's no soup kitchens in Darfur. The people we work with usually can't think beyond today for food. We want to go to what's called the hidden and the hurting, to those poorest of the poor that nobody are getting to. We're doing something that's fairly unique in humanitarian aid. Of the billions of dollars given for humanitarian aid, 95% or more goes for relief. You give somebody something, and then you come back the next day, you give, but that doesn't, first of all, it doesn't empower them. It doesn't raise their sense of self-worth, and it doesn't solve the problem. So in so many countries, we show up after 100 years of relief, and guess what? They still got their hand out. There are ways you can help a village to become self-sustaining, to raise itself out of poverty. We want to see results that last. You know, we want to see things that are not just handouts, but really a hand up. Our greatest joy is to see them say, Uncle Hal, we don't need you anymore. Let's go to another village together. The people we work with, they're already committed to working their way out. This enables them to do what they already are motivated to do. And that's really important. The ones that are really motivated, who want to help themselves, we help those, and you know what happens? One village that does this affects all the villages around there.
AIO Discovery is a program where we send employees abroad with international volunteer organizations. And they've been to places like India, Ethiopia, and most recently Jordan. And they get really hands-on experiences. It's a really mentally, physically, and emotionally challenging thing. They are completely out of their comfort zone. And in that process, there's a tremendous self-discovery that happens. By having our employees realize a couple of things, that spirit of aloha and Hawaii's local values just transcend culture, geography. It's relevant everywhere in the world, and they can make a difference everywhere in the world and effect real positive change. And then also just remembering that our community is not just here in Hawaii, it's the global community.
The term everybody uses is that aloha spirit, because when I bring people from Hawaii on trips to Africa or trips to Asia, they just fit in right away. The villagers locally wouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, they're from Hawaii, but the villagers locally know there's something different about these folks. And that has been true of every one of the people from Hawaii that's come with me on a trip.
As a result of being in Africa and having that experience, I would love to see other companies adopt a similar program that AIO has adopted. I think that it enriches the people in the company. I think it makes them more humane, especially towards one another, you know. Prior to the experience of going on this trip, I basically did community service because it was something that was kind of like, you know, your mom and dad tell you, it's a good idea to do it. Now I have a deeper understanding of why I should do it, how important it is. You really sort of understand how you're touching people and how you're changing the world.
I can truly say that I had no idea how much strength it takes to serve others until I got here. I cannot express how much this is really going to impact my life. I'm going to tell my children about this. It's definitely forges a loyalty to my company for sure. I really beam when I think about the company that I work for. I feel really privileged to be able to be representative of those values abroad, and I really made it a point to do that. And do it with enthusiasm and do it with the kind of love and generosity that I was shown by the people who allowed me to come here. It's amazing, it really is.
Nada, when she was 9 years old, the war was still going on in Afghanistan. Her cousin was being sold to a mullah who was 70 years old. And her cousin was 9 years old. She would be his slave and the slave of his other 3 wives. And the war ended, and she got employed by us. This changed her life, because now when she went home, she knew she would not be sold because she was the breadwinner for that family. And she said, Uncle Hal, I have great news. I said, what's the news? She said, I have selected my husband. And Nada is now a woman in charge of her own destiny. It was just that one person. I'm sorry. That makes it worth it.
It's definitely changed my perspective here, like all the stuff that we have, all the opportunities and choices that we have, where, like for me as a woman, it really struck home having choices, and I don't have to get married if I don't want to, and I can have a career, and I have the opportunity to get an education, and that's just not an option for a lot of people that we talk to and spent time with in Africa.
I've learned that if you have the opportunity to really get to know somebody, whether it's in a small town in Hurso or just your coworkers, really take time to get to know what people's stories are. It can change your life forever.
Now that we're back, now it's our job to kind of spread awareness and let people know about it. And I'm excited. I mean, I feel a little overwhelmed. There's a lot to do, and I really want to help out. There's a lot of work to do, but we're looking forward to doing it. I guess, created sort of a sense of urgency to make use of my time, you know, of the opportunities that I have and to go out there and fulfill those dreams. A new sense of gratefulness for the things I enjoy every day.
I feel very proud and honored to be part of a company that takes on a much greater responsibility beyond just profits and taking care of customers and employees. At AIO, there's a greater mission. So we've seen our employees come back with a greater maturity. Having gone to places in the world where just getting water to sustain yourselves every day, they come back really understanding that their purpose in life, in working, there's a greater good in what they're trying to achieve. We certainly would hope that by doing this, more companies would adopt this philosophy. Companies that share similar values to AIO have also adopted similar programs and are starting to see the same type of value in how their employees are being changed by this experience.
The people of Hawaii and AIO Group's, I think, leadership in what we're seeing for our future suddenly has the ability from this little spot of islands in the middle of the Pacific to have a huge impact on the poorest sections of the world, all from here. And I think it suddenly creates a sense of this is not a little place. Geographically, it may be remote. Total land mass may be fairly small, but impact and power for good, I'm learning every time I visit, this place has potential for influence I have just not seen most places. It's huge.